your chin with my finger.
Good job. It looks very good.
I'll do it for TikTok too.
Ooh, it's so itchy. Thank you.
That actually looks really real on TikTok.
Oh my god, that's so great. I wish you could save TikToks because
crush your head.
All right, guys, thanks so much for patiently working with us as we get to the point. Since we've been having so many technology issues, and Lynx is having way too much fun crushing my head with false perspective.
I'm just really happy that this is working. It was doing really weird stuff.
I'm really glad that you know how to technology, because I mean, I'd be a fish on a Pop-Tart. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Oh, man.
It's the worst thing imaginable without you. So I'm really glad that I have you, because otherwise it would be the equivalent to a fish on a Pop-Tart.
That's wrong.
It's very wrong.
That's
I'm
wrong
glad
to both the fish and the Pop-Tart.
And to you.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I'm trying to be in
Swimming
frame.
away.
There, I'm in frame. Look.
Okay. Do I need to scooch over more?
Just a teeny bit, I think. Okay, there we go. Back this way just a little bit.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
All right. So
thank you guys for being patient with us.
As I was saying before, we'd love to know if you guys have been experiencing any of this Gemini energy. Has it transformed you? Have you been feeling the more detail-oriented energy? Have you guys been getting anything done as far as communication goes? Have you been able to better communicate or better process what you feel or think? Have you been able to better process in general? Is there more understanding to where you're coming from? And are you being better well received? Are you feeling more social? Are any of these things happening in your life? Are you noticing any other Gemini traits or any other characteristics of Mercury that are kind of aligning with who you are right now? Love to know.
I can see, I'm looking at the TikTok comments from the thing because I think there's like a delay on the PC or something.
Well, yeah, there usually is.
That it's
some sort of delay.
Like it takes a second to realize that the live has started to get. There we go. All right. Oh, hey, the person who sent us a rose said it's her first time here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Usually we have our stuff together a little better than this, but
yeah, it's Gemini. Gemini season has this tendency to just, make you. Well, it's just like Mercury retrograde. It's like little doses of Mercury retrograde, but kind of in a more concentrated amount, I'd say. But it's not so much so that the energy has stopped moving. It's like the opposite of Mercury just regularly moving, not in retrograde. But it's like a concentrated dose of it inside of Gemini season.
So instead of a slice of pizza, it's a calzone.
Yeah.
It's still cheesy.
It's still delicious.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say they're both, like Italian means to the same end.
Yeah, but they're both good still.
Why are you putting value on it?
I don't know. I'm hungry, I guess. So maybe that's it. All right. So today we're not going to be doing any readings. We'll be doing readings for you guys on Friday. So make sure to join us or follow so that you can get the notification for when we go live, which will be at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Yep. All right. Are we jumping into anything else?
I don't think so. Everybody is chilling, just watching, and I'm still trying to get Facebook to be a Facebook, but it's working. The other two are.
Okay. Well, this is right now.
All right.
Okay. So we're gonna jump into strategies as far as all you fire signs out there. We have Aries, we have Leo, and we have Sagittarius. So we got 6 of it was upright, right?
Let me double check my notes.
Just double check.
It was reversed.
It was reversed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, on Monday we were talking about this particular
card right. I forgot that okay. Yeah, I knew. Yeah. Okay. All right. So 6 of Pentacles reversed for you guys as the tool. What's going to be guiding you through this week. And we have making sure in a lot of ways that we are validating our own self-worth and maintaining who we are, not giving too much, not this is really looking at where we are dealing with mismanagement of our energy. Make a list for yourself. It would be really helpful to make a list for yourself of all the areas where you're struggling, or all the areas where you feel like you're stretched too thin, or that you're being asked to compromise too much of yourself. Write all of this down so that you can really look at it and have a list of it and go, okay, these are the things that I need to start caring more for. These are the things that I need to start changing, because it's so helpful having a visual representation of the problems in our lives instead of just feeling them or trying to force our way through them. Sometimes we need to see the whole picture before we can just rush right into the situation and change it. So there really does need to be more of a focus on, figuring out where the value needs to go. And if it's going in the right direction. If it is, then great. Okay, we're probably going to feel more positive about that situation. If not, we're going to feel more negative. We're going to feel more red. We're going to feel more uncertain. There's going to be more of a sense of lack. There's going to be more of a sense of feeling out of control. So anytime you start to feel out of control, it's a good idea to remember that forward momentum is towards self. Forward momentum looks like what you can give to you. And anytime you start to sacrifice too much of yourself, what ends up happening? Your good nature gets stretched too thin, and all the expectations that are on you are suddenly weighing you down. And it was just that you wanted to be a good person to begin with that got you to where you are. It has nothing to do with you not being enough, or it's because you're enough. It has nothing to do with, a lack mentality. You have the opposite of that. You have a manifesting mentality. And that's why a lot of people and situations you'll come across that automatically take advantage of that good nature and that goodwill. So we also want to be mindful of dirty business dealings that are against you and not for you this week. Really pay attention to any contracts that can come up. Anything that feels like, like weird. Anything that you get that's a feeling that is like, this feels weird, don't go in this direction. Anxiety feeling, like pit of the stomach feeling, you need to go in the opposite direction. Back away from it. It's not there to help you. It's a warning sign from your body saying, hey, we shouldn't go in this direction. There's something that we need to avoid. So what else do we got? Yeah, for advice and the tool for the Six of Pentacles reversed.
Yeah, you got it. Well, definitely while you're doing that, you want to be able to assess your boundaries. Mm-hmm. Assessing your boundaries is incredibly important.
Absolutely.
Because you're not going to be able to create the things that you're trying to create if there's people stepping all over your stuff. Mm-hmm. So, but always also, be gentle with that. I know that, when you're feeling extra fiery and you're trying to put down your boundaries, it can be easy to go a little too far on mm-hmm. that one. But, as long as it's something that I want to try to be better at is I'm the opposite. I'm too mutable.
Well, you're water. Yeah. So you're literally the opposite.
But either way, putting down boundaries is a tough one, because you can either go way too gung-ho and you're like, hey, these are my boundaries. Mm-hmm. Or you're like, you don't want to stand up for them because you're like, oh, it's mm-hmm. just less conflict that way. So I think for you guys this week, that's something to really keep in mind.
Mm-hmm. And I think making a list is super helpful. At least it is for me. I'm a Libra, and it really does help me to have a list of the things that I would like to see changed, because that way I have a visual representation and I can start going towards these things instead of them all seeming like there's a bunch of things that my brain's throwing out at all given times, and I didn't do this, and I haven't gotten to this, and I haven't gotten to that, and oh my gosh. And then I get overwhelmed, and then I just get angry, and then I go towards all the things, and then nothing really gets accomplished. So I've done that plenty of times in my life, and I've found that it is really helpful to have lists. It is really helpful to not burn yourself out with all the things that you perceive that you have to get done right just now. Sometimes, if you have it written down, there's a releasing of the anxiety, and there's an ability to really look at that from an observant point of view, which will allow you to see the problem more 360 rather than just, looking at it dead on and only being so zoomed into it that you can't get out of it. And it doesn't allow you to see the full scope of the picture of what you could do, how you could improve it, what you can change about it. Instead, you just become reactionary to only what you can see. And that becomes really harmful all to itself.
Mm-hmm. Which actually kind of blends itself perfectly for the last little part here, which is the last piece of advice for fire signs this week is budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's the same thing as having a visualization of, okay, here's a good thing to maybe do this week, fire signs, if you've never tried it before, is try doing the thing where once you figure out your budget for your expendable income, the stuff that you're going to be spending, I'm going to have a coffee in the morning, or I'm going to, go out and, for whatever is within your budget, try the method of pulling that out in cash when you get paid and physically only spending that. It's a really good physical representation of how much money you have, because when that money is gone, there's no more money. And then there's no issue of, we got an alarm. There's no issue of, oh, well, I spent too much, or, oh, shoot, now I'm overdrawn.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally when that's gone, you don't get to spend any more money. So that's the perfect way to stay on budget.
That is a great way to stay on. We need to do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's figure that out. I want to do that. That sounds amazing. That's a really good idea.
Right?
Yeah, no, let's do that. We're doing that.
Okay.
I think that's a really smart idea. Yeah, because then, and it also helps with the brain-hand connection for the need to exercise what you, I've got plenty of digital currency.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter.
But if you have a $20 bill and you hand it to someone, and then you get some back, and you're just looking at what's left in your hand, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. I bet we would have a much deeper connection with actual money if it wasn't digital.
Mm-hmm.
So it is kind of crazy that we're going in that direction. That was the topic from last night. We're going in that direction. Didn't want to forget about it. Okay, so now we're going to jump into Taurus signs and look at what you guys all did. Taurus have Temperance reversed? No, Taurus had Empress reversed.
Let me double check here.
Yeah.
Earth had Empress.
Yep.
Okay. Reversed.
So we have Taurus, we have Virgo, and we have Capricorn. You guys, your tool for this week is the Empress reversed, and we really have an emphasis on putting up. It's kind of like needing to put boundaries down with yourself of, how much negative self-talk we allow in, how much we allow ourselves to live in the past, how much we kind of can be aggressive towards ourselves and not giving and not compassionate and not empathetic towards ourselves when it comes to our own self-care or our own beliefs that we have over ourselves. I think earth signs can be some of the hardest on who their characters are. Your character takes a beating, and it's not even by anybody else. It's by you. So this week is a major emphasis on what can I do for myself to give myself something that is nurturing, something that is loving, something that is compassionate. Is it this one still, or are you on?
Right here.
Okay. Because we really need to adapt a new way of self-care, a new way of self-love, a new way of giving back to us that feels whole. There's just a lot here that says that we're struggling. So if we're struggling, okay, all right, fine. Let's break that down. So it's going to be helpful if we start with daily affirmations, maybe telling yourself in the mirror, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, or you're beautiful. You're beautiful. I'm beautiful. Whatever you need to do to start getting yourself into the mindset of retraining your brain, because you trained your brain to be this cruel to you. All right. It's the same thing in reverse. You got to untrain it to be kinder to you. So every single time you have a negative thought, layer on top of that thought with a positive one about yourself. Whatever it's saying, whatever negative thought, or I can't have that. Yes, I can have that. I deserve to have nice things. I deserve to have good things. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. Whatever it means to you, layer that thought over so the brain isn't hammering you with all sorts of reasons why you can't have, making it so much harder to appreciate yourself, making it so much harder to love yourself. So really recognize this week where you can uplift yourself as far as paying attention to the negative self-talk that happens, and then really deciding to take a step further and break yourself free of it. Right now is the best time and the easiest time to start allowing yourself to do this. We have some really fantastic conjunctions going on with Venus, which for Taurus, that's going to be your planet, your home planet, your ruling planet. This is also the planet of this card, the Empress. So there's a pretty great emphasis, especially for all of us, but it's, for you earth signs in general, that we need to allow Venus, which is going to be doing a lot of really great work right now, expanding our self-love within the first week through the 8th of June. Now is a time to really give yourself that extra boost, whatever it is. If it's journaling, if it's meditating, if it's affirmations, if it's writing yourself a love note, or apologizing to yourself and being more kind to you. If it means going and getting a mani-pedi, if it means taking care of yourself physically, there needs to be an emphasis on how can I give back to me, okay? Because we're running ourselves into the ground a little bit by not giving ourselves the time to process, heal, and give back to us in some way. And we also could have had our hearts, kind of crushed, kind of stepped on most recently. So it's a good time to give ourselves an opportunity to love who we are inside and out. Absolutely, hands down, okay? This one was reversed. Okay. Then we've got anything else you want to add here?
On this one, let's see. I think you covered.
Did I?
I think you covered everything. All of you earth signs out there, now's a good time to do, either go out and play in the garden.
Or go plant a thing.
Go plant a thing.
Yeah.
Or go plant yourself in the bathtub. Or somewhere that's soothing for you. I liked this thing down here was like, make yourself a kit. Like a self-care kit.
A self-care kit.
So like whatever
I've made myself one of those before. Have you ever done it?
No, I imagined it would be kind of sort of like making yourself a little gift basket, basically.
It is, yeah. It's really cool. If you are struggling in any way and you like to do creative things because you're earth signs, make yourself a kit. It's like a little rescue kit. If you're struggling with really heady stuff that's causing it's overwhelming and you're finding it difficult to break away from it, make yourself a kit. So what I did was I had in my kit, one thing I remember that's really poignant is I had one of those pill containers, and I had a piece of chocolate in each day. So I'd have that in there for my rescue or like self-care kit, just as a treat, and because I thought it was cute. And I also put pictures in there of people or situations, occasions, moments that really made me happy that I could fall into. I would also, what else was in there? I had like little mementos. I had of different occasions, situations, places, things that brought me joy. I had a collection of those collector's coins. I liked looking at those and feeling them. Those are really cool. It's just a way to kind of give yourself something that you love. And they can be full of anything. This was for a very specific thing that I was trying to work through. But, you can have all sorts of things. Throw yourself the permission to plant something new. Put some seeds in there. You could put... What all would you put? I think you would probably put like all the ingredients to your favorite cake.
That's what I was just going to say. In there. Let me think. If I were to make myself my own like gift basket,
I would write myself a love note.
Head to toe.
I would maybe put all of the essential oils and all the things that are needed for like a Pinterest style bath.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And even if you
Get
can't
some
do it right now,
candles.
you can always pull that box out for later. Whenever you could have it happen. So you had essential oils, you had, maybe some rose petals, maybe you have like candles that you love. You've got like a little light in there that does things, whatever, I'm a huge fan of lights. We love lights. Just something that you can bring out that brings the feeling of joy, and it doesn't cost you anything to have the joy. It's just you're looking at something that brings you back to the feeling of joy without having to pay the cost of all the mental chatter to get to it. Yeah. That was a good one. Yeah. Okay. Air signs. We are looking at Temperance reversed for us air signs out there. Excuse me. Today is a day focused on, or week. It is the week focusing on balance, on where we go to extremes. Okay, because in Gemini season, Gemini wants to just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There's so many things to do, and we may be jumping into things we don't necessarily need to learn right now. So kind of be mindful of that in some areas, there are definitely things that we need to learn. Okay. But in others, we may be putting too much on our plate, which is going to cause some spillage, and we might get disappointed. So be mindful that we are really being cautious about the extremes of how we deal with, our imbalances and our balances. Where is the moderation? Where is the line? So this week is the week of trying to figure that out for us, trying to figure that out for yourself as far as where is the line? What do I need? What do I have too much of? What can I do to not jump over the edge with, feeling like I have to people please or get things done, or, communicate to all these people. I have to reach 1 million people today. Like all of the extremes. We want to make sure that we're being more gentle with ourselves of what is really manageable, of what is actually achievable, and we're being generous with our time for ourselves too. Okay, we have a tendency to do too much in the wrong direction at times, when it means that we are taking away our own energy in order to give it to someone else. We have a tendency to avoid our problems altogether and just focus on other people's. It's just something that happens. So if you're finding that you're doing that to your detriment, which means that you feel hollow, or you feel a lack, or you feel unhappy, or you feel dissatisfied, these are emotions we're going to have to pay more attention to in order to figure out how to give back to us going forward, moving on. It means that we have to find the right balance of the energy that we give and the energy that we take. It's a good idea then, I'd say, which is funny, because this is actually the advice that I followed for myself as well. I'm going to tell you guys too, because it worked for me. We've been working more to better our schedules, okay? Because we do have a lot of passions. We do have so many things going on right now, and we want to still also be able to do these lives. We also want to be able to, to throw the ball for our dog. We also want to be able to have time for us. And we also, there's so many things, and editing, making content, editing and posting, having time for, also eating, and figuring out regular life events, taking care of our health, things like that. So it's showering, basic human things that we all need to do.
Eating and showering, take-ups and laundry and cleaning up after your own food that you made. Mm-hmm. That just alone, it takes up so much time.
Yeah.
It's just amazing when you actually write it all. Because we recently started actually trying to be we've been playing around with being really type A with having our schedule be like from this hour to this hour, we're going to do this and this to this and this to this. And it's really, really efficient. But at the same time, it's like, that's when you actually start to see like, how long does it actually take to like prepare a healthy lunch and then clean up after that healthy lunch and eat that healthy lunch? It's like, oh, okay, well, you know, like shove some food in your mouth real quick for like 5-10 minutes. That's totally different than I'm going to take out all of the components in the fridge and rinse all of the vegetables for a nice fresh wrap, and you know, and then I'm gonna slice all the things, and I'm gonna take all of the leavings and put them over in the compost. And, you know, it's just a whole thing. Like a whole,
and you don't even think about it. You don't even think about the energy that you're using or the time, or you know, what else you could be doing instead of, because you're eating lunch. But then when it becomes like something that you have to become way more structured with, then it's like, well, like, crap, we need to start making
faster, wrap faster,
wrap faster. No,
wash the lettuce.
You're not doing it quickly enough. Then it's like, okay, we need to clearly start making our meals the day before. We need to make our meals for tomorrow, just like we did in school. We made our sandwiches the day before, and we set out our clothes for the next following morning. Well, we did those things, and they worked, so I don't know why we keep trying to change them. But at the same time, it makes so much more sense when you're just on the go to just easily grab something, and you're not even thinking about it. You're just trying to move. So if you're trying to delegate responsibility and figure out your schedulings a little bit more efficiently, or figure out all the hobbies, all the things that you want to accomplish, because there's so many things. All right, my Mars is in Gemini. I have Mars retrograde Gemini, so I completely get what it feels like to want to just do everything all the time, because Mars is like, let's do everything and nothing. We don't stick to anything. You know, and it really did help to hammering out a schedule. And something else that I'm going to try too is doing a daily affirmation of I am balanced and have patience for my schedule. That's one that I'm going to try. I'm going to try that, see how it works for me, see how it goes. All right, is there anything we need to add for this one? I think that was pretty much it.
Hang on, let me double check here. Oh. How does that work? Create a balance wheel to visualize and balance different areas of your life.
Ooh, that's really smart. So a balance wheel you could create. It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like a pie chart, like, you know,
that's what I was kind of imagining.
Except you know, it's just half and half. So on the top, you could even have it be made of like a vision board type, where you've got all cutouts and stuff of the things that you have going on, and you would have on the top all the things that are in balance. Those are all the things that are in control, that you've got, you know, down, that don't need extra work, that are doing well. And then on the bottom, you could have all the things that need work, that are not in balance. That way you have a visual representation of what needs to get messed with and what needs to get, what's fine, okay? What we don't need to stress out over, what we can instead, you know, focus on, which is really helpful when we're just going, and it's really hard to stop. It's and slow down and see what, you know, what we actually need to get accomplished. Okay.
Before we move on here, I just want to say hello to people People are saying hello.
Hello, people.
Lexton's here. He said hello.
Hey, Lexton. Glad you're with us.
And then Grace is here. She said, hello, lovelies. Hope you're doing well.
Doing well. Hope you're doing well, too.
And then Latasha's here. Remember?
Hey, Latasha. Yeah. Thanks for joining. Glad to see you're back.
And Blast from the Past here. Kyle Lee is here with us.
Kyle Lee.
How are you doing, dude?
How are you doing? Hope you're doing well.
He said he missed us.
We missed you.
He said he would love a reading, but we're trying something new. I responded in the thing, too. We're trying something new. We're going to be doing, like, these breakdowns of the week So Mondays are going to be discussing kind of like the breakdown of like things you're going to encounter and the energies that you're going to face. And Wednesdays are going to be more of like how, like assessing what happened a little bit earlier in the week, and then going into some tools, which is what we've been talking to you about today, is about like what you can do for the rest of your week and coming up into the beginning of next week of how to be like, how would you describe it? Like Neo dodging the bullet.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
So that's what we're doing, but and so that goes for everybody in all of the rooms.
And then on Fridays,
that's what I was gonna.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna say. Next is for everybody in all the rooms. Fridays is going to be our day that we're doing live free readings. So come show up on that day, and we're going to try our best to do, basically we go on for about an hour or two trying to get everybody in, and it's been really fun. We're really happy to be back. Yeah. And let me see if there's anything else that I needed to say.
I don't know why that's going through my head right now.
Now it's stuck in my head.
Bottom.
All right, Pink Panther.
It is Pink Panther. I couldn't remember what it was.
Let's go on to water signs.
All right, water signs, your tools, strategies, and some tips and tricks for you. We have the 6 of Cups for you guys. We have Cancer, we have Scorpio, and we have Pisces. This is a pretty big emphasis on needing to remember what makes you happy, what brings us joy. Having nostalgia isn't always a bad thing. And needing to dive further into parts of the past that make you feel good. Sometimes it's important to remember where we came from, and that way we can continue to move on and move forward. When we neglect our past in a sense that we haven't processed it, we haven't accepted it, we haven't moved through it, then we stunt our present moment, because all we're doing is running to the future. And when we run to the future and when we dwell on the past, we sacrifice the greatest gift of all, which is this present moment. Here's something I want you to think about, that this moment, this one that we're having right now, is the only moment that we will ever have, because it is the now moment. It is happening now. It is this current moment happening in real time. As soon as it happens, it's past. And there's no, that's a huge emphasis on needing to remain more in the present moment, because the past is always back behind us. But at times we need to go back and we need to look and we need to see didn't you pull this card too? You pulled the 6 of Cups, right? The other day.
Yeah, actually, I think that came out today, was one of the readings.
Yeah. It's interesting. Well, and you're a water sign.
Mm-hmm.
Correlation, I think not.
I think a really cool piece of advice for this one too is, and this is going back to what we posted earlier today with the picture of the 2 lobsters
from the Alice in Wonder Oz.
Alice in Wonder
Oz.
Or something.
It's like Alice in Oz.
Alice in Oz
deck. It's pretty cool.
Anyway, the really, like, what we need to, I think the really cool thing about that is, especially like the Alice in Wonderland card that inspired me, the idea that sometimes we're always searching for the next thing that's going to make us happy. I'm like, oh man, I just don't know what makes me happy anymore. I'm like, looking all over the place for like new things, and nothing seems to actually like, scratch the itch. Nothing like fills me with the happiness that I used to have, and that's when I was starting to think about that is, well, maybe we should work backwards. Mm-hmm. Maybe start thinking about times when you really were happy. Mm-hmm. What was there? What did that mean for you? What were you doing? Like, where were you? Did you have different goals? Like, did you have different people around you? Were you taking better care of yourself? So, instead of trying to like pinpoint the one thing that's going to make you happy, is like, go back to times where you remember being happy, times where you were content in your life, and use that as a stepping stone, mm-hmm. and not trying to go, repeat your past and try to go rushing back to change everything back to how it was, but taking the time to really look at the things that made you happy and what that meant can really help you with your happiness moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, because that will give you the full range of the picture of how to create emotional fulfillment based off of something that you had. You know, it could just be that the reason you're feeling blocked is because you feel like you don't have that thing when really you do. Sometimes we just need to take, you know, a look at the past. We need to not run from it. We need to also not jettison just in the present moment if there's issues in the past that haven't been addressed, or if there's a feeling of lack or you're feeling dissatisfied in your fulfillment. So we can look to see where we had fulfillment and start bringing those things back. Sometimes the simplest things are the easiest when it comes to the realization of it. And then it comes to the act of it, which can be a bit more challenging. But if there were, say, maybe moments from your past that brought you happiness that you're not doing now, well, think about maybe getting those back into your life. Like if you used to sing all the time and you don't sing anymore, well, and you're sad now, what's missing? You know?
Well, like a good example for me is like I used to actively exercise consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking back on times in my life, I'm like, wow, you know what? You know, everybody says, you know, being physically active can affect your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely does. And it's just like sitting here thinking like, okay, well, I don't do that much anymore. And I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, you know, I would say that when I did that, I would say like my genuine, if you were to put like a number on like overall disposition, like 1 being like depressed and sad and 10 being like hyper and happy. And like, I would say that like I hovered more around like a 7 or an 8 consistently when I was working out like 3 times a week. Whereas now it's probably like between a 6 and a 7. Yeah. And it can dip lower. I would say it can dip lower more easily.
Yeah.
It can be pushed further down. Like, so I think that I'm giving myself advice right now.
Yeah.
I think that emotional resilience, I think that's my advice to everyone out there, especially water signs this coming up season, not just this week. Try exercising again.
Yeah.
Even if it's just little things that you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, go for a walk. We just bought something ridiculous. Bed yoga.
Oh,
apparently we're gonna kick our own rears in bed. That sounds great.
I want some of that.
You know, like
we're gonna do that, and we're also gonna go swimming in the pool now that it's open. So we're gonna be hot in no time. Just you wait.
Wait for it.
Wait
for it.
1 year later. They're hot.
Woo! Follow for increased hotness. You are getting a phone call. So I think it's time to end this live. Bye, everybody.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. See you next time.
See you next time.
Is it 4?
Yep.
Oh.